Radio, a constantly changing art form. London.
The 2-hour ultimatum had been delivered to Germany.
Rock and roll. Prairie home companion.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
From that first broadcast, a medium that has been pruned, honed, trimmed, winnowed, chiseled, bonsai'd, and deposited here today, ready to be moistened with the watering can of evolutionary dew. This is the Dennis Miller Show.
Hey folks, ABC, always be closing. If you want the knife set, welcome to the Dennis Miller Show. I am the aforementioned Mr. Miller. We're going to spend the entire hour field dressing a pheasant, taking your phone calls at 866-99-DENNIS. That's 866-9933-664. Joining me to take those calls, all-around friend of the show, the Nuge, Ted Nugent. Teddy, what's up?
Dennis, happy hunting season to you. Now, if it takes us an entire hour to field dress a pheasant, sir, you need help.
I'm doing it with my feet.
With my eyes closed and my knife thrown into a tree. Yes, indeed. Happy October to you.
Hey, Teddy, I was on O'Reilly a few weeks back, and he was asking me a question about one of the Barack Obama czars, a Cal Sunstein by name,
yes.
who is advocating legal representation for the animal kingdom. And I said to O'Reilly on the air, I said, if I'm ever served papers by a lemur, I'm moving into Ted Nugent's rec room.
Dennis, I watched you project those words of wisdom and grand humor on the O'Reilly Show. And all my friends, I probably got 1,000 emails and texts that night. So I salute you, sir, for causing idiots to bleed from the posterior.
Now the Nuge is going to take...
Dennis, if you have a couple of habeas corpus documents nearby, I've got a cooler here at the Spirit Wild Ranch in Texas where there are at least a dozen herbivores waiting for representation, hanging from the rafters by their antlers. So come hither, the lawyers of America, and represent my haunch.
That is one of the most beautiful soliloquies I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I'm stoned on venison right now, so you're going to have to deal with me. And if I squirt through the phone with some testosterone from a rampant white-tailed deer, blame not me, will
That
you?
was beautiful. It was like Demosthenes meets Vlad the Impaler or something. Absolutely
It's a very
beautiful.
special time of year, and anybody that thinks that animals have rights, I want them to notice right here on the Dennis Miller Show, if I may take advantage of your airwaves.
Go ahead.
My name is Ted Nugent, and if I even suspect that the words animal or rights are thought about in the same paragraph, I will kill an extra 100 deer per notation. I don't need to, I don't necessarily want to, but Dennis, I shall.
Ted, but listen, one of the things I tell myself in my head about your hunting is you do it for meat and fur, right?
Well, it's
this
perfect.
isn't a lark for
I
you.
feed my family. We just had a bunch of heroes, Dennis. I mean, if it gets any more pure than this, would you come to my ranch and adjust my halo for me? I just had a couple of legless Marines and one guy with no skin from the United States Army. They came out to my ranch here where they filled up giant cooler after giant cooler of pure sacred venison.
Nice.
They took it back to the Brooks Medical Facility in San Antonio to Fort Hood, where they distributed amongst the families of heroes that have been severely injured. Some are now dead, and the families utilized this sacred venison to sustain themselves. There was not a dry eye in the pickup convoy as they thanked me for providing this important life sustenance. Anybody that has a problem with that is evil.
All right, Teddy, we appreciate it. You always do well by the troops. There you go. Teddy, now they always refer to drums classically in music lexicon as the skins. Is it possible that you could take some of the zebra, deer, elk, and literally have your drummers' drums be covered with animal skin?
What a beautiful transition that was.
Huh?
Yes, indeed. God knows that the first rock and roll came from a stretched animal skin somewhere in a cave after somebody was celebrating either the breeding process, killing of the enemy, or the procuring of dead stuff for dinner. So the sonic bombast that we have electrified in the Nugent Band and all the best rock and roll and rhythm and blues in the world really is a continuation of the primal scream and its rawest and most natural and pure delivery. So my music is that tooth, fang, and claw celebration, and you nailed it, my friend. Dennis Miller, you deserve me.
I remember they were celebrating Sully Sullenberger bringing a pterodactyl down into the Tigris River.
Yes, indeed. I have hieroglyphics on a cave wall at Spirit Wild Ranch where someone with a middle finger drew that same scenario. Yes.
Let's go to phones. Mike and PA, you're on with the Nuge.
Hey, Mike, happy October.
Happy October to you too, Nuge. Hi, Dennis.
Hey. I've never felt like less of a man. Go ahead, you boys talk. I'll be out here niddling.
I was just wondering, Mr. Nugent, if because a lot of us in uniform that wear the uniform can't really say what we think about the commander-in-chief. And
I've noticed that, yes. Leave it to me,
I was wondering
Mike.
if you might be able to discuss with Dennis why you think our commander-in-chief is taking so long making decisions on Afghanistan.
Well, Mike, number one, God bless the warriors in uniform. I salute all of you. And by the blood of warriors goes the peace and security of our neighborhoods. So God bless you all. The Nugent family dedicates our lives to thanking the men and women of law enforcement and the military. And so I take your opening there as an opportunity to unleash the beast, shall we say. Where does one begin, Mike, in identifying, I would like to use the military colloquialism that is the first two syllables are cluster, and I won't finalize the third syllable, but it is a cluster. And our commander-in-chief is a master of cluster, and I guess one would have to surround himself with an army of czars against all things U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights because of his absolute incapability of leading the most powerful and important nation in the world. He is clueless. He is not up for the task. He is literally conducting himself, I guess, in an economic overview. When the family is flat broke, you don't go on a shopping spree. But our commander-in-chief is conducting himself in every important policy-making and issue consideration in that irresponsible manner.
Yes,
so,
but Nuge, to be fair, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, I have a lot of problems with it too, but to be fair, can we not add the addendum, save one, that he has stayed the course in Iraq? I did not think that would happen.
Yes, I concur, but what Mike's talking about, I'm sure, is...
Yeah, I know, but when we say across the board, I think it lends legitimacy to our argument against him if we specify when he does do the right thing, and staying the course in Iraq is, quite frankly, something that shocks me.
Except it's not quite the right thing. It's just not the wrong thing. He's not doing it properly. He's not taking the bull by the horns. We need to increase troops on the ground. So, yes, he's done better than we expected him to do, but, God, I would expect my leader to do better than just okay.
Point taken, point taken. I don't know much about the physics of prisms, but I would have to guess that the most vibrant color in the universe is the bright orange of the bright orange jumpsuit that Ted's gas meter guy wears when he comes on the property.
Actually, he comes in a parachute with flares going up to deflect my heat-seeking missiles.
Just to let Teddy know to keep it on the down low.
I got to tell you, Dennis, let me comment on that if I may. My meter reader, my UPS guy, the mailman, they love coming to the Nugent Ranch because I've always got a hot machine gun nearby, and they always make their way down to the range because everyone loves to fondle full auto. And only at the Nugent Ranch can you come down and bathe in brass rainbows and wade through hot brass just to deliver the mail. And I am not exaggerating. All the people that I know, all my friends, all my neighbors, they love to come by and shoot machine guns with me. So I'm like the best neighbor in the world.
Not to mention during the hot summer months, Teddy always has a nice ferret sickle for the mailman.
A nice ferret sickle, yes. And I actually insert the sticks myself.